The housing slump and subprime lender bankruptcies seem to be keeping a tight lid on the upside of the U.S. stock markets, adding concerns about a falling dollar and the rising price of energy and commodities, and you may understand why many analysts hesitate to be overly bullish on the U.S. markets. Welcome to TFN's Smart Trading Action Alert. I'm Laura Cadden. On the other hand, corporate earnings are stellar. As a whole, S&P 500 stocks have enjoyed record-breaking double-digit earnings growth of late. Publicly traded companies are buying back their stock like never before. Some high-profile money managers, like Ken Fisher, believe that corporate earnings will continue to increase faster than share prices, keeping price-to-earnings ratios in check. Following this argument, stocks at current price levels are actually vastly undervalued when compared to other assets. Who's right? And more importantly, how can you best protect your portfolio against the very real danger of strong downward pressure while making sure that you capture any upside potential? My guest today is Brian Bottarelli, options tactician for Wavestrength Options Weekly, a highly popular publication of the Taipan Group, and founder and chief strategist of his own successful service, Bottarelli Research. Welcome, Brian.
Thanks, Laura. It's a pleasure to be here.
So tell me, where do you see the U.S. indices headed in the next 3 to 6 months?
Well, April is historically the best month to own the Dow. It's the #1 month out of the 12. So I believe that the Dow traded as high as 12,795 in February. That was the high for the year. And since then, it has moved down since hitting that high. I think right now we are going to, since we are in the month of April, the best month of the year, the Dow will retest the 12,795 level this month, which means we're going to see a strong month. Right. And then in the next 2 months, May and June, we will see it fail at this level and retest the low of the year, which is 12,000. At that point, I do think we will recover at 12,000, and we will end the year by seeing a new high on the Dow, probably 13,000 in the fourth quarter of 2007.
Now let's talk about Wavestrength Options Weekly. You and
Sure.
your partner, Adam Last, who is a frequent guest on Smart Trading, you've been very successful with your recommendations. What is the key to a great options strategy?
Well, the key is to always maintain a portfolio that has upside and downside exposure. So for example, in the scenario that I just described about what the expectation for the Dow, sure. As the Dow moves up, you want to have positions that profit off that move. And as the Dow moves down, you also want to have put options that protect you and help you profit as the markets fluctuate on a day-to-day basis. And what we've been able to do with WOW is to balance a portfolio like that so we're profiting no matter what happens that particular day.
So how is it that you and Adam work together to select the right pick for your readers?
That's a good question. It's kind of like, how do you funnel everything down into one weekly pick? I'm lucky enough to work with Adam, who has the Wavestrength Power Ratings. And what this is, it's a proprietary method that Adam has developed, which combines 48 technical charts all into one weekly sector study. So every week, Adam runs the Power Ratings study, and we get a really clear view of the strongest and the weakest sectors within the entire market. And that's how we start. We start with that.
So if anyone can run a Yahoo sector chart and look at the strongest and weakest
right.
Sector, how is your analysis different?
Yeah, that's a good question. The point is, of course, anyone can look at a Yahoo chart and say the Yahoo chart is strong. It would be easy to make the argument that, oh, Yahoo's looking strong for 3 months, so I should buy the stock. But what we do is we dig a little bit further, and if our sector study, if Yahoo is a technology stock, so if we get a reading from the Power Ratings chart that the technology sector is weak, I don't want to be buying Yahoo, even if the single Yahoo chart looks good. If the technology sector as itself is weak, you don't want to buy that stock. So what we do is we analyze every sector, looking for the weakest sector and the strongest sector, and then we pinpoint the certain stocks within that sector that are exhibiting the strongest or weakest candidates.
So does Adam identify the stock then, and he comes back to you, or?
What Adam does is provides me with a chart,
yeah.
And then the sector study, and then me and him together look at the components of each sector, and then we look. He gives me a forecast that says, hey, the housing sector is showing the weakest. So we look at all of the housing stocks, and whichever ones are showing the best downside potential is what we would come out with a recommendation. And it's my job to actually take Adam's forecast and pick an option that is going to give you the biggest reward with the less amount of risk.
So what are you recommending right now?
Well, right now we are short the major discount retailers because of, as oil and gas prices go up, stocks like Walmart historically suffer. So we're short, we're bearish on discount retailers, we're bearish on healthcare as well, and we are bullish on materials, and we are bullish on oil and energy. So 2 bearish sectors, 2 bullish sectors, and when you combine both of those into one portfolio, you're in a position to make money no matter what.
Now, the projections you made earlier, I believe you committed yourself to a retest of the Dow of around 12,795 in April, followed by a sell-off to 12,000 on the Dow in like May and June. What hedged and easy to execute options play do you think could be profitable for our readers to make?
Right now, we actually issued a trade this morning, and it was on the Energy Select Spider. It's a ticker symbol XLE. This is probably the best way to capitalize on the future upside move in the oil and energy sector, because it's a strong sector right now, of course. So the XLE gives you exposure to stocks like ExxonMobil, Chevron, Valero Energy, all in one simple to execute basket. So I believe the stock is, or the index is trading for $63 right now. We would recommend buying 3 to 6 month call options on the XLE, which gives you exposure to the increased movements of that upside move of the XLE index as we go into the summer driving season. So that's our latest recommendation.
Well, that's a great tip. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for the information.
Thanks for having me.
To learn more about Waste Strength Options Weekly, go to www.wastestrength.com. To learn more about options, I recommend visiting the Chicago Board of Exchange website, where they have information on everything from basic tutorials on options to professional trading strategies. It's identified as www.cboe.com. Please tune in next week for another profitable opportunity on TFN's Smart Trading Action Alert. For TaipanFinancialNews.com, I'm Laura Cadden.